today, continuing to take those steps in the right direction. So how do you best describe the progress that you've made the first couple of years in comparison to the progress you wanted to make?
Well, we're happy we've hit some stability, right? We didn't want to be a flash in the pan and have one good year and then take a step back. I think we all want to take the next step. We realize that we would like to make the tournament. That's always been a goal for us. But we're happy that we've been able to get to this kind of plateau. And now we're trying to take a shot this season. We have 8 seniors, got a lot of experience, a lot of returners coming back. Last couple of years, we've had some people have good years, in 21, maybe 22, 23. We're hoping we could put it all together this year.
Has it changed the way that you've been received or the strategy that you've been able to employ on the recruiting trail?
Yeah, I think having that success over a number of years has said, hey, listen, this is a good program. I think we've gained a lot of respect. I love listening to Coach Loxley. He talks about it. Maryland, you earn everything. Nothing's given to us. And I think we have that exact same mentality.
Locke's a terrific guy, isn't he? He's maybe as much fun to be around as any head coach in any sport that I've ever been around.
My opinion is he looks like he's having more fun than he ever has, and so it's been fun to see him. And I think he represents our university so well.
Speaking of fun, how much fun has it been to be a head coach in the best league in a sport that is seeing the kind of popularity that it had never seen before?
I mean, it's a unique time. I've got 3 daughters, so to see women's sports growing, not just the Big Ten, but just the viewership, the number of supporters we're getting out from matches, watching the Olympics right now, and you see women's kind of sports carrying us in a lot of ways. It's been a tremendous opportunity for us to be a part of it during this time.
Yeah, last year, I believe, was the first time that the women's NCAA tournament in basketball also outrated the men's in terms of total viewership. I do want to ask what you, and if you spoke with any coaches, thought about what took place last year at Nebraska and seeing 92,000 people to watch a volleyball game. I know it was school-specific, but I'm sure it also meant a lot for everybody in this league and anyone who coaches this sport.
Yeah, I think it goes back to high tide raises all ships, or all ships. I think for us, I was happy to see Nebraska do something that was, conceived in this idea, and I think a lot of people probably didn't think it was possible, and when they did it, it was great to hear other coaches talking about, hey, what's Wisconsin going to do now? What can Penn State do? So we were competitors for sure, but we also want to support the conference, want to make sure Big Ten Volleyball remains the best conference in the country, and so happy to see people doing things and thinking outside the box.
Then you get to play that level of competition each and every night, each and every weekend inside this league. As you continue to ride this upward trend, how important is it for you year after year to pick off some of those teams that make the Final Four, that are top 25 teams when you face them, to build that belief that you can do it more and more often year in and year out?
I think that's where our program has grown the most. At the last couple of years, we've been able to beat Wisconsin, beat Purdue, beat Minnesota last time for the first time. I think that just gives the team a little bit more belief going into matches. I think the biggest challenge this year will be a little bit more consistency, and then obviously 4 new additions to the conference makes it that much more challenging.
How much more challenging and how big of a change do those 4 schools bring with them?
They all have tradition. 3 of the 4 have won national championships. I was there when I was at Penn State. We lost to Oregon in a national semifinal. But realistically, I think there's an unknown. We've never played in those atmospheres. I've never played at Oregon. I'm sure they play a little bit different styles as well. One thing that's nice about being in this conference for as long as I have is rosters pretty well, who's changed, how styles have evolved over the years. And, honestly, we don't know a whole lot about some of the newcomers.
Travel is going to affect some schools more than others. Big Ten obviously has done really good work in making sure that there are not more than one long-term road trip for each school, but you're one of the easternmost schools in this league, so those trips will be the furthest for you. Sure. And for Rutgers. Anything that you can do to kind of offset that travel for your players who are also trying to balance their academics at the same time?
Yeah, we feel like the schedule kind of gave us a little bit of a bonus. We go west to Oregon and Washington this year, but then we're home for about 2 weeks, so I think that is a huge bonus. I'm sure that was done by design. I obviously am a big coffee guy, so happy to go west in a really good coffee area, so I'm excited.
And really, for probably a lot of your players, you just mentioned that you've never been to at least one of those venues. For maybe some of your staff, a great opportunity to not just play against top-level competition, but also to see parts of the country that maybe they've never seen before.
100%. I think it's a unique experience. I think the group is very excited just about a new challenge, new chapter. Again, we have 8 seniors, but they get one last ride with a brand new conference, and I think that's really exciting.
Will the addition of those schools all the challenges that you face in the Big Ten affect the way that you schedule non-conference moving forward in the future?
Yeah, 100%. And we're trying to find ways to be home a little bit more often. I think we're also trying to play some midweek matches. I think everyone's kind of lowering the number of matches they're playing in non-conference to begin with. So we are trying to balance that out. I am really curious to see how it will impact the RPI. You know, you're going to having that many more teams that are coming into the middle of the conference, you know, and how we're able to get more teams in the tournament, I think is really, really important. So I think this year will be interesting to see how it plays itself out.
We've just seen so much change over the last few years, and one of the most impactful changes was the transfer portal and the way that it has impacted every single top-level team. How have you been able to use it, and what do you think it has done for the sport, either good or bad, over the last couple of years?
I think the transfer portal has been good. I mean, we don't want to rely on it. We don't feel like we can build our culture off of it, but at the same time, we realize that people are going to move on, and that's okay, and we've been able to add some really impactful players. I mean, Samantha Schnitta this year coming in, we've got high hopes to have her be our point scorer and our leader. You know, Anastasia Russ came in and was all conference 2 years ago. So it is something that we've used pretty heavily, but we want to make sure we're also doing a good job recruiting people who want to be at Maryland and hopefully graduate and, you know, commit to growing our culture.
We'll hear from Samantha coming up in a little bit, an Ole Miss transfer that was kind of instant impact in year one. What's the area of growth that still remains for her, and what will you and this team need from her in 2024 to be successful?
I think when transfers come in, they're trying to learn how they fit in, and we're trying to make that transition happen as fast as possible. I think the numbers indicate that the second half of the Big Ten, you saw a different Samantha Schnitta. And so for us, we feel like she's learned the ropes. She is ready to carry us, and you know, I think she's excited to get this season started.
As we watch some of her highlights right here, what do you like most about her skill set?
She's really versatile, and one of the things that we were able to do last year is get her a lot of opportunities to score out of the back row. She's an incredible leader too. That's something that you don't see on film, but she is. You know, a lot of our leadership runs through her, and I'm happy she's a little bit more confident than she was last season, and I think she's going to have a great breakout season.
Senior setter Zoe Huang also with you, had her most productive year as a Terp in 2023. What's it been like for you to watch her career arc, and how much better can she be this season?
Zoe's been unbelievable. I mean, one of the things that makes me proud to be a coach is watching someone like her grow into what she's done. And that's not just volleyball, that's off the court as well. You know, she's a leader for our university, our athletic department. And, you know, at the end of spring, she was setting extremely well. So excited she's going to hopefully fill in a good serving role for us this year. But again, she's been a great leader for us off the court.
What other players should we get ready to hear the names of as you get set to start your season?
Someone who flashed some, late brilliance was Sid Bryant. She was a freshman for us last year, but came in and really helped us down the stretch in the last couple matchups. She's had a great spring for us. We're excited to see what she's capable of doing. You know, Sam Sire is also another outside that had a tremendous career for us. Thrilled that she was coming back to do her 5th year. And then, again, Anastasia Russ, you know, 2 years was all conference. We're hoping that she can put it back another run in her super senior year.
Early in this season, I know you have LSU and UCF tourneys, which are officially neutral site, but kind of road matches for you guys. But then you have your own event and 5 home matches, I believe, in a 12-day span. How important will that stretch be for you guys to build some momentum, to be at home, and to really get ready for the gauntlet that will be Big Ten play?
We are looking forward to the first matchup, going to a road environment, trying to get ready for what it's going to be like playing in the Big Ten. We're also trying to be pretty good. We have a veteran group, so we feel like we don't need to practice as much as maybe just getting prepared to play different styles against different teams. So with the schedule that's not as succinct, it's kind of all over the place, we feel like it's best suited for just an older veteran squad. And so we're trying to balance the ability to go win on the road, but also find ways to get good RPI wins in the beginning of the season.
How far ahead do you look? What's your philosophy when you look at that schedule and you're trying to figure out what needs to happen and what you have to manage in between one match to the next?
I mean, we've had most of our roster this past semester. In the spring, it was really nice to actually kind of figure out where you're going to be. I think scheduling's got later and later. You're not making decisions until April of May. So we have pushed those discussions back a little bit farther, trying to figure out what our roster is going to look like. And, you know, I think we're pretty excited about this non-conference schedule.
How quickly does this time go between media days now and then camp's about to open, right? And you only have 3 weeks before the opener. How quickly does it go by, especially from a coach's perspective?
It's a little terrifying in a lot of ways. I was on a staff Zoom this morning planning for Thursday, probably do another one late night tonight. So, yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking, but this is a nice little break. So
where do you feel most confident in your team right now? And Conversely, what are the areas that you feel like we're really going to have to shore this up if we want to be good from the jump?
We were always known as a great blocking and defensive team. I think one of the areas where we need to grow a little bit is trying to find ways to generate a little bit more offense. And so we've got some question marks in a couple roles. We've got more depth than maybe we've had, but we're really trying to find ways for people to step up and say, hey, this is my spot. I can lead in this direction. Again, Samantha Schnitta has kind of done that over the last year. So I think the biggest thing for us is finding ways to score some more points.
How will you evaluate what success is for Maryland volleyball at the end of 2024?
I obviously want to make the tournament. That would be a clear goal for us. But I also want to make sure that we value the student-athlete experience. We had one senior who's coming back for a super senior year, and she had opportunities to maybe move on, but she said she wanted to come back here in 10 years and bring her kids here to show what she built. And for me, that just means the world to what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Are you getting a little bit of extra FaceTime today because we ran the preview teaser for the doc about Penn State's 109 streak?
Yeah.
You were on the staff. First of all, you don't look old enough to have been on that staff at that point. But you also said it brought back some fascinating memories. It was great to hear from my perspective, a guy like John Cook saying, I think it's something that'll never be done again.
I agree. I don't think it's possible. I think the transfer portal kind of changed that as well. Teams' rosters moving a little bit faster than they've been. So it's something that I look back on. You don't realize when you're in it that you're doing something amazing, but it was really it was great to reflect on it and tell some great stories.
All right, now try to do the same thing in College Park, because in this league, it seems like it should be really easy at this point, right?
Yeah, so simple. Yeah, just got easier, right?
Adam Hughes, great to catch up. Wish you and the Terps the best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, and before we check in with the Maryland players, we are going to take a closer look so you can get a glance at what awaits Maryland on that schedule. Interestingly enough, the top game there at Penn State on October the 3rd. You only have to wait another week before you travel to Madison. That is a really easy back-to-back weekend of road trips and some of the other notable games here for Adam and the Terps. And for more on the players that actually have to undertake this challenge, we check in once again with Elena and Holly.
Thanks so much, Rick. Holly and I back this time, joined by Samantha Schnitta and Zoe Huang of Maryland Volleyball. Welcome to the studio. Have you guys been having a good time so far at Big Ten Media Days?
Yes.
Yeah, so far lots of fun. What's been your favorite station so far?
Ooh, that's hard. They're all a lot of fun. They're all very different, and so it's cool to get different experiences at each station.
I enjoyed when we did Heads Up with Emily Eamon, and it was really bad. Could not figure out the word pineapple, but
that's all right. I'm looking forward to seeing that on social media later. I'm sure we'll get to see that. All right, talking a little bit more serious volleyball stuff now. Samantha, you joined the conference last season, and we saw you be a really consistent force on the right side for Maryland. Can you tell us a little bit about joining the conference and kind of your first season in this league and what you look to carry into your next season?
Yeah, definitely. So jumping from the SEC to the Big Ten, I mean, who doesn't want to play for the Big Ten? So it was like super cool to get that opportunity to be a part of this conference. And in the beginning, I did have to like try to find my feet, find the ropes, figure out. I mean, it's a huge block. Every team has a great block, and so finding what my role looked like on the team and what my role looked like in the Big Ten, and so doing that towards the end of the season was nice to figure out for this last season, going into my 5th season.
Halfway through the season, your coach said your confidence really grew. You felt more comfortable. How did that happen?
I think I did change my pregame ritual. I had been listening to a lot of music before, and I think switching it to more Headspace is like that app that helps with breathing and everything. Like being able to find my calm before going into the game really helped. And then knowing that like everybody on my team cared for me just as much as I cared for them, and we all wanted to win. We were all on the same page, and so knowing that all of us wanting to win and how I cared for everybody on my team really drove me to be who I was.
You're both veterans in this program, only been here for 1 year, but you're a veteran in the volleyball world. Zoe, you've been at Maryland your whole career. Can you tell us a little bit about, once this season's over, what kind of legacy do you want to leave at Maryland? Zoe, I'll let you go first.
well, personally, I'm really into like the whole SAC space, so I'm really into getting the team involved with the community and getting prepared for life kind of after sports, so getting professional development, and we're getting internships. Like her and I, we got internships this past summer through like Maryland Made, which is our career development program. So that's a legacy I hope to leave. I want everyone to be prepared for life after college.
Your coach talked, Zoe, about your leadership on and off the court. What motivates you in that area?
It was really hard, I have to be honest. Like I think when I was a freshman, I had like no clue what I wanted to do, and I think that is what motivates me, because I think it's harder going into college than people realize, and like you're expected to kind of know what you want to do and where you want to go. And I think I was so lost that like at first finding those kind of people and finding those opportunities to grow really helped me want to make sure everyone else on my team that I support and I love, like, they have the same feeling.
And how has that helped you on the court?
Well, as I've become a leader, I feel like I've become more vocal, more confident enough to tell, like, the underclassmen, like, hey, like, you got it, like, you're doing fine, especially, like, when preseason gets tough or, like, when spring gets tough. So I've become more confident and become a leader more so, I hope.
And Samantha, I know you've only been here for one season, but Coach Hughes even pointed to you as being a leader on the court. Can you walk us through a little bit about how you were able to use your experience and kind of be a voice on the court for your teammates?
Yeah, I think sometimes people, I don't know, I think I have that energy that people look to me in their own way, and I feel like I set a standard, and I try to, like, try not to ask anybody to do something that I'm not willing to do. And so, like, knowing that and setting that standard for myself, I think helps with being on the court and setting that standard on the court and being able to ask that of my teammates, knowing that, like, I'm gonna do it with them. Like, I'm gonna do whatever's hard with them, and we're gonna do it together.
How different is it heading into a season with a veteran group, a lot of returning players?
I think it's awesome. I think it's super exciting for us all to be able to do it together for our last season. And I think it sets kind of that tone for our freshmen coming in, that, like, we have been here and we've worked hard, but, like, also bought into this program. And so for them to believe in us, that buying into this program is the best thing you can do and, like, gives you the best experience.
When I think of Maryland volleyball, I think of a brick wall block. My entire playing career, I was like, am I ever going to be able to beat these blockers? Can you guys give me a little bit of insight into your practice gym? Zoe as a setter and then Samantha as an attacker, how does that defensive pressure help prepare you for playing in Big Ten matches?
For me, I think it just makes me smarter. I'm like, I gotta do something. I gotta beat the block. I gotta do something to at least just make him late. It doesn't have to beat him, but if I can just make Anastasia late, that's my goal.
Yeah, and it gives me, like, new insights so that, like, when we go against those big teams like Nebraska and Wisconsin, like, we have the same kind of mentality on the other side of the net in our 6-on-6 play. So allowing those blocks to be as big as they are in our own gym allows me to work edges and work cuts and see the block better going in and bringing that confidence back into those bigger games.
Your coach has talked about your defensive kind of backbone that you've guys have built your program on that. How have you improved on the offensive side of the game?
I think we've gotten more aggressive. I think with that big block, you're able to find new tools, and we added Ryan Ammerman to our coaching staff also last year, and he has brought, like, a new insight to, like, being able to throw the ball and being able to, like, mix those shots in. And so with that big block, growing and just expanding that way.
We love hearing about you guys as volleyball players, but also off the court as people. Both of you smiling this entire time. I can't take the smile off my face talking to you two. So loving that. I'm already kind of know where this question's going to go, but tell us what your team is like off the court. Just what's your culture like?
It's definitely interesting. I think we all have super different personalities, but with those different personalities, we all are able to come together. Like I was telling somebody earlier, like if somebody wants to go to DC or something, like somebody will text it in the group chat and then like 4 people might go. But it doesn't matter who goes because we're all comfortable with each other and we're all excited to go do that one thing together. So it's super cool to have that environment and be able to hang out with whoever on the team and like know we all have each other's backs.
Yeah, I think it's super cool that everyone's kind of different, so you can kind of go to different people for different things. Like Eva Rohrbach, she loves music, so like we always kind of go to her for like concerts in DC, and then I feel like I like food, so I like everyone kind of comes with me to like, especially like Asian foods, like I'm definitely the one they go to, like hot pot, Korean barbecue, but everyone has different things that they're really into, so it makes it really interesting.
Do you have any team mottos or pillars that you guys follow?
The biggest one upon like being recruited was like be you, align with us. And so we all have like one goal, one mentality, and we're all willing to do it together. And so to be yourself is to be okay, but then to still align walking into the gym, knowing that we have that end goal.
That's awesome. I'm going to think about that a lot later. I love that. Yeah, I love that. Obviously, we have 4 new teams joining the conference this year, so that's super exciting. It's just going to get easier, right? Playing those 4 new teams.
For sure.
Right. Are there any games that you guys are looking forward to the most? Any venues you're looking forward to play at with some of those new teams?
I think they're all cool. I think all those venues that we're adding are super cool. I also think adding that level of competition to this conference, like this conference was already fantastic to begin with, but adding 4 more teams that also compete, like I can't wait.
Do you know anything about those 4 programs?
Not specifically. I know that they've all made it to like Final Fours and they've made the tournament, and so like adding that to us is like
More competition.
More competition. You gotta love
More
it.
fun. It's more fun.
It's a lot of fun.
We love competing, so I
Yeah.
think getting the opportunity to even play teams that have achieved that type of success is really exciting for us, and it really gets to test how much we've grown as a team.
That's why you play in this conference, right? Because
Yes.
every single night you're playing the best of the best, and then in a couple of years, girls are going to be on the national team.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. So that's awesome. Are there any matches? I know you guys probably take it day by day, but are there any matches you have like circled on your calendar? You can't wait to play in this one. Maybe a gym you want to play in, or just a specific team? Any of those ones?
I think we both said Nebraska.
Yeah.
Nebraska at home. I think because it's also senior night, like I think it's going to be really fun for us to play Nebraska, like really good volleyball, and then also just like with our family and friends all around us.
Having so many
Nebraska
seniors.
at your home.
At our
Yeah,
place.
Okay.
for our senior night.
Okay.
So
Senior
having
night,
all of
yeah.
our seniors together one last time at home against like a really big competitor, like that's one that we're definitely circling.
Okay, I'm just hearing now, Zoe, it is your birthday.
Oh, it is my birthday.
You did not tell us that
birthday.
before
Thank
this.
you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
What better way would you want to spend your birthday than in
Exactly.
Chicago getting to talk about some volleyball?
Love it.
How old are you today?
21.
21. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Are you doing anything special? I know you're here today, but the rest of the week?
Might go out to get drinks. I don't know. I could do that now.
do
maybe.
that now.
It's just juice. We'll see.
I'm sure we'll do something as a team for her too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're so glad you're here with us today. Happy
Thank
birthday.
you. Thank you so much. It's been fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. This has been so much fun, Samantha and Zoe. Can't wait to watch you play this season, and I hope you have a great time at the rest of Big Ten Volleyball Media Days.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.